toxic clan. So, as you could see
Sometimes I get so mad there's no control
on the map,
get so bad I'm like I might grab a
have
bat I
some
don't know my
substantial
rap
territory
boils
going
over
on.
like
So,
oh God,
I want to talk about kind of a little bit about what I've done and
so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
how it worked out. So, essentially this is my first game, but I used a couple concepts. So one is expansion theory. I started as the government of Maine. So I was up here in this territory. I basically wanted to take over as much land as possible, as quickly as possible. Okay? So I started kind of picking some of my neighbors, picking fights, and eventually expanded. And this map's only about 43 players. So you see I got Vegetable and AV is in the co-alliance with me. Now the max is 3 for this map level, but we did befriend this guy. He actually was kind of chilling. We were about to invade him, and then we kind of had a little news article battle, and we ended up making peace. So we're befriended. You know, he's joined the alliance. However, what I ran into was with expanding as much as possible as fast, I had issues where I wasn't building up the right resources. I started getting in deficits. So these recruiting offices I didn't turn off, and I also was building barracks, which would be here. So this actually eats up resources a significant amount. And once I got to a comfortable position, what I've been doing is some of these borders I've left on. He's up to 126. I gave that to my ally. I actually wanted to give him this island because we might attack this guy at some point. I'm not sure. But as I was pushing, I noticed that these territories weren't built, like the morale and everything. So I'm gonna show you. This is newly where we just started attacking. We're actually at war with them. They declared war on us. So what I've been doing is slowly building up my fortress, factories. I can put these on queue. No, don't do the capital. I hope I didn't register. Not going through. Good. Alright. So I've slowly built them up because when you take it over, the morale, like this is 98. This is gonna affect your troops healing. You see, like they're not healed all the way. On the daily reset, it's 2 hours, 6 seconds left. As that hits a new daily reset, they'll heal, but they gotta be stationed in your fort and it has to be a high morale. I got some stuff to build, it looks like. Pop that on deck. So you'll see like this morale's 100%. These troops here should be healed a lot faster. They were all under halfway when I got done over here pushing through. But then I have an issue that I ran into. So I call these growing pains. As I pushed, I don't know, I just did the barracks. I usually don't care for the barracks. So when I pushed with my guys, I came through here. A little help from Missouri. But what happened is they basically were getting killed. I guess their life was like halfway. And as I took this new territory, the morale was low. They didn't have railroad tracks, and if I did take it, it was damaged because what I tend to do is take my artillery, push in different avenues, let the artillery hit them. So they're either going to come out or I'm going to tear up that territory. And so you want to save troops, you want to kind of sit here and let the morale build up as you build forts, workshops, factories, which built another. It's being glitchy, but you know, you want to build these different areas up. And as they heal, we're actually going to start pushing northwest here in a second. I'm going to take out some of these stragglers. Got a couple big guys left, but they're basically AI, just us and AI we've been pushing. The goal is to hit 1,500. but I've kind of been sitting back because I've been doing a lot of pushing this whole game. Took the islands, moving my way through here. I got a rally point set. So basically what a rally point does is it puts, that's the army, but it puts them in wherever. So like if there's a certain territory, they'll automatically spawn and start moving to that location. So I kind of call that my QRF, or staging point. So let's say hypothetically, like, I was going to invade here, which I'm not going to, but I'll take these territories and mark the rally point nearby, but I'll have a secondary with some of these further back locations. So like, I might do the first 20, 30, 10, however many territories I have, and then I'll take a back spot. Because there's going to be, you know, extenuating circumstances. Like, if I hit here and he retaliated, or I lost a lot of men that I did not expect to lose, I'll have a standby set, which I've dubbed the QRF, to respawn, where I could send in as backup to invade either a second area, reinforce that area he might counterattack me, something of that nature. So I don't just get one big force together and push in. So like some of these staging points, what I'll do is I'll collapse these men together, put them here, and move them out to areas they might be needed. So there's different strategies. I mean, that's kind of what I'll do. So essentially, how I've expanded. Now, I do have a weak rear, I suppose, but it's highly unlikely he's going to leave the Alliance vegetable and hit my rear somewhere or something like that. But I have backup resources I kind of stocked up on in case I need to build a on-the-spot military. But by the time they get through so much territory, all these back spots will have already built a standby military for me. So I think I'll be alright. Because it's really just in the north, this guy, that decent size, but we would overthrow him easily. I mean, there's nobody, I think, that's going to contest us. It's all AI. But to get to this point, basically, that's the strategy I used. And you see, I just started building planes. Planes are squishy. They're good to have. I just kind of threw them in there because I had the supplies to throw away. But I've been building heavy tanks and artillery. And like I said, what I'll do is just send them in. They have to make a decision, or they'll just sit there and eat the damage. Even if I tear up all the territories, like buildings and stuff within that territory, I can just rebuild. I got plenty of supplies at this point. I mean, it doesn't matter as much, but my strategy has been effective. It's been consistent. The only hiccup I ran into, so I've been trying to teach my teammate here, AV. He hasn't built forts and stuff, so some of these are like lower morale, and he was pushing all his men. His defense, I mean, he was outnumbered over here. This whole side here, this section was like 2 different militaries, and then Texas. So there's 3 different factions that were just kind of in his way, and he couldn't do anything, and they've just been picking him apart. But the rebellion basically is, if your morale gets too low and you're taking your troops off, you're not building anything, that's really a big no-no. You want a minimum garrison there. So like, they were giving me his territory, but what happened is every time I was trying to trade him, I've given him a few territories back, but like if I go here and try to give him something, let me make sure. Outland, let's try Outland. Province. And what I'll do is obviously just throw it to him because I want him to have more territory to consistently push. There's like a daily timer, it'll say 1 per day or something like that. I don't know why it's not showing up, and it's not giving me the heads up. It's weird. Not doing either one. But it basically told me I can only trade him 1 a day.
They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say say they hate, but they know it's cap. I
Not
ain't
even
playing
showing
no
up.
games.
It's not
I
doing
just do
anything.
that's fact, and I don't feel
So I don't know what's going on, but
I
I was trying to give him more territory. But what I'm doing is I'm basically helping him build him up, and I'm trying to give him back to him so he can grow and expand faster as well. Because I literally don't need any of these territories. But we wiped out. It was west of Mexico, and once these have been growing now, I'd say probably a day or two. I've been letting them kind of just put stuff in quarry and all that. Now I got the planes moving in that can assist. After about several attacks, I noticed last time I had a squadron going, they just were getting melted, and it was frustrating because these guys are quite expensive to build for them just to get pretty much hurt. So heavy tanks, artillery, a lot cheaper, basically, a lot more effective and efficient. I'm the only one that's been building Navy, but we really don't have to worry about Navy as much. Got some ships out there spread out, and I got a nice little couple dozen all together, I think, something like that. But I was thinking of hitting here, maybe, but that's Colorado, which kind of looks like this small section, but he actually has this larger portion of the map, which means if I hit this guy, he might declare war on me. I have troops kind of standby here, and I'll feed them through here and through here. So I got two waves where I have different QRFs in case when I attack him, they retaliate, or like I said, they might declare, these other factions might declare war on me once I do so. Where are my big guns at? They're over. There they are, okay. But without further ado, all these little things, so like morale, what will happen is, let me find, do I have a territory? No, built a lot. Alright, let me just go here. If you click on it, it actually will show you hit points, garrison takes less damage, morale development 15%, the construction costs. It should show you on mobile too if you're on mobile, but 50% recruit rate actually is increased from your barracks, but it costs a little bit of your resources. So like, I really don't mess with them, especially if you already have enough places pumping men out. It doesn't make sense to me. Factory, resource production, morale development, unit production speed bonus, construction costs, but tells you what it unlocks. So anything, any building you really click on, and then like units, which are the heavy tanks, 45 damage, hit points 260, speed might not be great, but I'll tell you what, this is where you want to focus, hit points and damage. So like if I hit a medium tank, obviously not as good. I mean, if you don't have it unlocked yet, it's early on in the game. That's what I started doing, and then as I got built, I just basically started building the big guys. These are good for range, but they're really expensive. I mean, and you can't move them unless you have railroads. See here, I got my railroads built now, but it's not as ideal, viable. Just sitting back building is giving us points, so I've been kind of chilling, letting my guys heal pretty good. Let me double check some of them. I'm not fully healed, but like I said, a lot of these guys, my infantry was down to like a bar and a half. I mean, there's no point in me to keep pushing. A couple days ago, now that they've been resting, healing, build-ins, hit points, some of the pros and cons I've run into with growing pains. I'd push and realize my men are weakened. They're building too fast, and I don't have the resources to back them. So basically, what you need to do is shut off the recruiting office, barracks, and how you would do that is click on it, enable. It should be there on mobile. I think there's like a button that looks like these 3 bars or something that says more, and then you could just go ahead and turn those off. Now, if I get into trouble for some reason, unlikely at this point, but if I did, I'd come back here and start turning all these barracks and recruiting offices on. And then I can go here, like if I need more of these, I'll go to my resources and start tinkering with these a little bit to pump out more or less whatever I might need in excess. Bomber produced a new one there in this area. I don't remember what I'm out of. I'm just gonna stage them all nearby. Get kind of a little like squadron going, maybe a dozen or so. And how many do I have here? 2, 3, 4. There it is. 5, 7. So I got 8 total. Maybe a few more. Pumping still. Because they're squishy, they can kind of be clean up, come and help, maybe defend. But this guy looks like he knows I'm about to do something. I don't like these guys' numbers right now. But they really don't have to push right there. At least not yet. I'll probably hit him from 2 directions here and just try to save that from being destroyed completely. Alright, an attack here, he'll hit him here. You can push there and there. I mean, he's only got 2, 4, 6. So I'm going to show you my strategy basically in effect. Split in my tank, all those, and I'm only going to spend like 10 men with him. Because he has tanks, he'll be alright. Tank, cavalry, all 18 guns. He's gonna get like 100
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push.
So when they do this, right, this is the most effective way they can move, but I'm not as concerned about enemy territory, so a lot of times what I'll do, it isn't as effective. Like, you want to take that route, like, it's good that it's automatically showing that, but by the time he moves to that location, he's going to be in range, there'll be enemies. And some excess men, because I'll need some extras. I'm kind of trying to basically divide my forces up a little bit. More than enough. They're just gonna chill there anyway. That's gonna engage the war, so now we're at war. How they looking? East and about 109. Up there. Reinforce a little bit. And in the newsreel, it's probably an article or something. Not yet. But it'll show unprovoked war or something like that. They're kind of fun to read. Tend to enjoy the different articles that they produce. A little bit. Save some of those guys. Now, a little bit of backup. For some reason they come in and try to assault, which they shouldn't, but if they do, I can pull him back to this territory and then keep the reinforcements and just take it back. So I kind of plan around possibly counterattacks. I mean, with AI, it's unlikely, but send the guy this way or this way. He's gonna chill here. You got these guys on standby in case there's funny business over here. And I can reroute some of these men. A couple hundred maybe out of this. Stragglers. But basically this is what I'll do. So I'll push. I got excess resources stocked up. If I don't, go to the market, buy something I might need. I could even sell some stuff. Like, I don't need that much iron and wood. don't know, I've been feeding him a lot of resources, and he keeps showing up as the richest faction, so he shouldn't have an issue right now. He should be pumping out stuff, building up. Once I give him more territory, obviously a little easier. And I think he's about to assault another faction, and then he's going to be pushing somebody. Oh, he's already fighting Nebraska. Some drag right over here. Okay. Essentially, this will be a one step closer to kind of pinching in the middle here together. He's going to have to get hit whether he pushes him or I push him or both. But as I started hitting the bombardments, you see he's kind of doing some sort of movement here. So basically, he's going to pull back from this location some men and defend his primaries, which is a good sign for me. What? Let me go full potato. I usually don't invade like this, but I'm trying to get this game over to start a new one. So on mobile, I don't know if it's on here, but I've been saving coins up for the dailies and stuff, so I have a little bit of coin to start the next game with a little kickoff. It's 850 to speed up some productions, or max, whatever. Sometimes it's 3 hours. So when I get my first territory, I can have them kind of set up ready to go. Probably start with forts, because if you have your factory and everything up, if they got a harbor, the harbors are actually pretty clutch, because resource production 25%, morale boost, all that. Plus, if you got the railroad track obviously is 33%. I mean, that's a crazy buff on the production of the resource. So ideally, I usually do harbors, like, I don't prioritize them first. It's usually railroads. So I'll do the fort. Once the fort is up to tier 5, comfortable, then I'll usually do... You have to do workshop to get your factory, but you also have to have a certain factory to produce certain units. And it'll even tell you factory 3, 2, 3. Pump these guys out. This one I think is 4. Oh, 3. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, the base amount of alerts. Like I said, I've just been chilling, building up. Because I doubt anybody's going to push me right now. And I have pretty much 4 users on the map against AI at this point. Everybody else quit. He is moving. I might start pumping tanks again soon. But I think I got enough over here. I got a navy. I don't want to push these bigger guys until allies get within range to push them at the same time, so we can kind of co-op this guy. So what usually happens on these bigger territories, I notice, like, let's say I push, let's pretend this element is Colorado for now. If I hit him here, he would start sending all his troops down here to the fighting. So after maybe, so long, a secondary person could hit the rear, which will be weakened, or at least most of the troops will have already been relocated. So essentially the initial attack wave is going to be the person who takes the most damage and casualties on retaliation. So since I'm, got more troops, whatever, it would be ideal for me to do it just because I have the resources to expend. But sounds like it's about to storm, but I hope this helps everybody. Strategies I use, the pushing, build up of territories, morale is important, how to increase the said resources. 100% morale will produce 100% of your resources. So like if it was 50%, I wouldn't be producing this much of each. And these buildings here, like I don't even have a freaking factory. They build a workshop. Get some of these factories. Iron, which I don't really need anymore at this point. I could sell it though on the market. That's usually what I do with access. Sometimes it's only worth 1, but that's extra coins I might need. Some of these, I mean, that's oil's going for 30 per. So like 1 oil is at 30. Like that's crazy. So I could sell it for 13, buy it for 30. But some stuff will be on the auction higher or lower. But as you build more units, you'll also see, I forget, I don't think I remember this. These units will actually tell you the cost per day. 20 food, 5 oil. Oil, 20 food. And that'll also obviously affect your production. So like if you're in the red and you're like, my god, I can't get out of the red. Best way to get out of red for resources, if you're hurting there because you're having growing pains. Like I was talking about earlier, shut off your barracks. Once you get to a comfortable size, honestly, barracks is good because it produces recruitment speed, but at the same time, you really need it if you got plenty of territories pumping out troops for you. I've opted to just stop building barracks as much. I just don't need them and they cost a lot more extra. So, don't build barracks or build them and shut them off. That's fine too. Recruiting station, disable, it'll stop recruiting. And then you can kind of dictate, like if you're building tanks, planes, whatever other units, where your military sits, get a better tracking. But any access, I've just been pumping out and bringing up to the front lines. I could probably stand to lose 1 or 2,000, and then my resources in the worst case scenario will actually increase substantially based on that many troops. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I got asked some of this stuff. I learned, looked it up, asked questions, figured this stuff out. Like I said, it's my first game. It is Shattered America. Nothing crazy. 500 player. This one is 43. But good luck. I hope this helps. Happy hunting and fighting if you want to join my alliance. It's open to members. You're more than welcome. United Warmongers. Right now, just my teammates from this game, pretty much. Still have next update yet. Run some games together, maybe I can help assist. But till next time, thanks for watching.